Right, so before all else, I'm going to cover the quote-unquote comedy of this film, as it was absurdly grating, and inevitably it'll be the first line of defense for the show. The first and most frequent type of joke is whenever a character overreacts to something. Pre-performance food they've had many times before, screams. Realizing it's all a demon ploy, this. Every time we cut to the general public, screams. The doctor scene, etc, etc, etc. Whenever you remember a funny character reaction in other media, it is almost always done in a subtle way.
This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
But sometimes over-the-top character reactions can be a lot of fun. Konosuba is filled with that. However, every time it's done, the characters are reacting to something that is genuinely funny in its own right. The frogs are a great example of that. In K-pop Demon Hunters, the over-the-top reactions are the joke. It's not funny, and it's done over and over and over and over again. The second type of joke is when a character hopes something doesn't happen, and that thing just so happened to happen in that very moment. No comparisons here, as no matter where it happens, it is just awful, and K-pop Demon Hunters is flooded with it. None of it was a surprise, and none of it was subverted. The third is the embarrassed on stage gag, something I particularly cringe at, and I can't fathom why people enjoy that stuff. But hey, some people do enjoy that, so fine. The fourth is the prolonged frog gag from Family Guy, but in this context, it undermines the character and the tone of the scene. More on that in just a moment. The fifth is hiding a large creature from a friend or family. In The Iron Giant, severely underrated film by the way, we had a scene of Hogarth trying to hide the hand of the giant from his mother and Mansley. In that scene, there are many jokes as he frantically tries to hide the huge hand in the many rooms of his house, and it's all played for laughs in that scene. The hard-hitting stuff comes later. Here, the main girl has to hide a large demon cat from a friend and merely drapes a convenient blanket over it and then sits on it. Nothing else is done with the joke. This all happens while her friend is trying to meaningfully speak to her about what secret she's suffering with, aka the very heart of the story. So what on earth is the cocking tone of the scene? The Iron Giant is an anti-war story, and it would be baffling to have that conversation during these shenanigans. Oh yeah, and the friend would obviously see the demon cat here. The sixth and final type, the couple that won't admit they like each other gag. Don't think anyone has ever found this one to be funny. So now that we've established the comedy is on par with the Big Bang Theory but without the laugh track, let's cover what this film's about. For centuries, three female singers have kept demons from entering the world and sucking out the souls of everyday people. They do this by using the power of their voice to maintain a special barrier to block the demons and physically kill any that slip through. On the verge of making the barrier permanent, which will stop the demons attacking and starve the Demon King to death, the protagonist rushes her friends to push more songs to get it done sooner. She does this because she's secretly part demon and her demon marks will soon be visible. Hence, she wants to finish the barrier before that happens. However, the demons decide to make their own boy band to steal the idol's fanbase, which will weaken the barrier. After failing to kill them, the idol group and the boy band compete on stage. All the while, the protagonist secretly meets with the boy band leader and starts falling for him before coming to accept her demon side as a part of her. At the second act low point, the demons reveal this secret on stage, which drives away all their fans, creates a wedge between the idols, and the protagonist causes the barrier to fall. The Demon King, aka Mr. Smiley, telepathically gathers everyone in the city towards a stadium so he can eat them all. Meanwhile, the protagonist goes to a mentor and asks to be killed. The mentor refuses and says they can undo it by hiding the demon marks. Protagonist gets very angry at this, saying this is a part of who she is, and suggests the world is better off dead if it has attitudes like that, before she teleports off. So as thousands of people are about to walk into a fiery smile, including the other two demon hunters, the protagonist arrives, sings, groups up again, and they fend off the hordes of demons before defeating Smiley and recreating the barrier. The three of them then relax. The initial concept is awesome. I doubt anyone would dislike the idea of an idol group fighting demons between their songs. Emphasis on the word idea, as the execution is key. Basically, the creators came up with this core concept first and built a story around it. Perfectly fine as a starting point, but it explains quite a lot. Why are demon hunters spending their time singing? Well, let's say it's because their songs prevent demons from invading. Okay. Wait, why attack demons at all if the barrier keeps them out? Well, let's say some of them can slip through. Alrighty. We need a climactic, world-saving endpoint for the film, as every modern story requires one, otherwise it'll be boring apparently. So let's say the demons have their own plan to stop the idol group. Okay. But now we need a character struggle for the protagonist, and something that'll drive the Demon Hunters apart in the second act low point. What about making her part demon? That's the ticket. Anything else? Well, since the protagonist is part demon, we can have her connect with one of the demons. The boy band leader will be a good one, so let's say he used to be human, so now they can romantically hook up, and he could plant doubt in her mind. Brilliant! The story has practically written itself. What was that? Characterization, world building, a theme? They're not important. What I'm trying to say is that the initial idea was fantastic, but the creators did the bare minimum with it. Imagine all the interesting concepts you could explore with such an idea, keeping up with newer and newer trends. The change of technology, both in the concerts and in battle. Idol group overwork. The pressure of fans and the media. Growing old, getting sick. The struggle of a secret identity. The show, in fact, does the opposite on that front. Everyone blatantly recognizes the girls in their fighting outfits, yet no one realizes what they're doing. Hell, they bring up the fact thousands of people have suddenly disappeared, yet no one is bothered by this. The general public simply have no personality. Don't suppose if you heard of the recent League of Legends marketing disaster when they used AI to badly copy this film, the horrendously jarring crowd being the ultimate highlight of that. Animation quality aside, what exactly is the difference between the two crowds? They both act like mindless hordes who will love anything they're shown without consequence. For Pete's sake, they were absolutely loving the boy band dressed as babies and drinking hot sauce. Why any of that? The world feels so tiny and unexplored. Outside of the four characters, there is no one and nothing I can latch onto. The world is just so empty. And filled with plot holes. There's only 3 women preventing the demons from devouring the human race, right? We can comfortably say this barrier thing is worldwide, and they could sing anywhere to maintain it, fine. But why isn't there a giant organisation to handle the demons and defend the girls? If any one of them dies or gets seriously injured, they can't sing and the world would fall. Why aren't there bodyguards? Backup singers? Backup to the backup singers? Backup singers? We're talking about the end of the world here. Hell, the only one who even knows of their demon hunting is the lady who recruited them. Yet she does nothing to support them. And exploring such elements would add a whole nother layer of character drama. Imagine if there were backup singers waiting to replace any of them. How interesting would that be? Then the plot holes with the demons. Why don't they suck souls from other countries? Why don't they suck during the idol performance? If some of them used to be human beings, why hasn't this come up before? If the demons can shapeshift, why haven't they tried ruining the idol group's reputation before now? Why weren't the demon boys affected by the idol singing? How can knowledge of the demons be hidden? In the modern day and age, cameras are everywhere. This train was attacked and all its occupants disappeared by a massive horde of demons, with the most popular idols fighting atop. How did that go unnoticed? Regular people can see demons after all.
And that finale with the guy in the demon suit exploding into confetti?
Wait, who the hell is driving the train? There is no way for the demon presence to be hidden, and more so, no reason to hide them. Maybe government and people can try to defend themselves. But nah. Scores of people have disappeared, and it's up to 3 very vulnerable girls to defend the human race. Gotcha. On the disappearances, I was waiting for the inevitable "they suddenly returned" scene. But to my flabbergasted surprise, they didn't. They are literally dead. Their bodies vanished and their souls consumed by the demon smile. And no one sodding acknowledges this. In fact, it's actually worse. There's this scene, which was also in the trailer, where the girls fight the demons in this bathhouse. Before...
This is the men's bathhouse. Get out of here.
They quickly leave because it's embarrassing, and this guy fucking dies. Why did the writers do this? Had they stayed, they could have saved his life. Oh, but it's embarrassing. In the train scene, it's somewhat implied the passengers vanished because the protagonist froze, and no one reacts to this. They are also dead. Thousands more off screen. Dead. How did the writers forget about them? So that's the broken world building, which brings me to the 4 characters. You might think I'm missing someone, but you'd be wrong. This guy is part of the soulless sludge crowd. Smiley just wants to gobble humans and never makes any plans himself. The cat, the bird, Doctor, and the other boy band members don't have any personality. They're purely comic relief. This lady can be summed up entirely with...
Don't let it show.
AKA, she's solely here for the theme, more on that disaster later, so that quite literally leaves 4. Fortunately for me, I could just pull up what the film thinks its characters are, starting with...
eagerness to please. Maybe a little too eager.
What? I'm not like that. You guys would tell me if I was really like that, right?
Before I joined Huntrix, I felt like my thoughts and my lyrics and all my notebooks were just useless and weird. But with the two of you, they mean something. I mean something.
But is this actually true? Is she insecure and does she feel dejected? Not at all. In the blatant exposition dump at the start of the film, she's most certainly not insecure, and throughout the film isn't either. The idea of her inadequateness never comes up either. The real flaws she does have is that she's a dimwit who lacks any agency, and who also fawns over muscles and stupidly long hair. In the climax, the film just invents the idea that she doesn't have a place to belong. The only other traits that are actually shown is that she's talkative. As for the other girl, we're explicitly told,
"Look, I'm kind of a difficult person. Overly blunt, short-fused, highly aggressive."
Headstrong and blunt. Yep, that is indeed what we're shown her to be, which makes it weird that she doesn't press the protagonist when she's being deflective, or even when her actions literally cause them to be in grave danger. She too lacks any agency. Boy band leader was a human on the street who made a deal with Smiley for fame and wealth, abandoning his family in the process. He was then condemned to serving Smiley for an eternity, all the while he is haunted by his actions. This is until he learns protagonist is part demon and falls in love with her, whereby the voices stop. This is all directly explained to us, leaving zero room for subtext or mystery. For instance, when he lies about him caring for his family, we could have had a shot of him guiltily glancing away instead of having this outright false moment in the flashback. Likewise, when he receives this letter from a little girl, horrendously on the nose by the way, we could have done without...
Maybe listen to those voices instead of the ones in your head.
Good grief, let the scene breathe. As for the lack of mystery, we could have done without the scene where Smiley reminds him of the voices he wants rid of. Had we not had that scene, he could have promised protagonist he'll lose on purpose so she can save the world, whereupon we fully buy into the idea he'll do this very thing. Then come the day, we see his betrayal and BAM! The emotions hit harder. The scene we get, this is nothing. Or because there is just no surprise. We know he will do the wrong thing before doing the right thing. Geinu is bland and very predictable, but has more depth than a puddle, so is unequivocally the best character. And now the protagonist. She is part demon. How she was born part demon? Well, her dad was a demon. But how did that happen? I don't know. Why can't Smiley, the master of all demons, not control her? I don't know. They gaslight us on that one. Why was she chosen to be a demon hunter above all others? I don't know. Whatever the case, she is understandably self-conscious about this, and throughout the film learns to accept that part of herself. And that is the full extent of her character. Everything she does before the predictable second act low point is to save the world before demon side is revealed. After that moment, she gets depressed and wanders over to Don't Let It Show lady, asking to be killed. The lady says she can't do it and suggests she just cover up those marks, whereupon the protagonist says if this world can't accept her entire self, then it deserves to be destroyed. This is completely balked. She's suicidal because she lost her friends, her boyfriend, and caused the world to end, which from her perspective is because of a demon side. Which it is. Almost all of the problems of the film are because of her demon side. Then in spite of this, in the span of a single sentence, she pivots from kill herself to rid the demon within, to fully embracing that side of her. I wonder if a scene was cut between this bit and her appearance in the finale, because this scene heavily implies that she'll fully side with the demons and let the world be destroyed. So she teleports to the climax, just in the nick of time by the way, where she is in her full half-demon form. But, oh, that looks kinda ugly, so let's just revert her back to her human form for the final fight, shall we? Heavily undermines the theme of accepting one's identity, doesn't it? For this one, you could have taken a lesson out of Shrek.
I'm supposed to be beautiful.
But you are beautiful.
Protagonist is not a character. She is a badly warped theme in humanoid form. Take away the identity crisis she is suffering with, and what's left? Looking at the identity crisis is to look at the sole theme of the film. It wants its message to be that she doesn't need to hide who she is, it's the world who should accept her for who she is. The problem being is that this is all entirely balked. If she came out as part demon before the second act low point, no one would care. The world doesn't even know what demons are and would just see her blue marks as tattoos, while her two besties would quickly accept it after 5 minutes, just like we see in the very film. Then on top of this, the demons are evil. For hundreds of years, they have devoured human beings for their god, and it is precisely because of the protagonist's demon side that the world nearly ended. Her demon side never helps her, it's only a hindrance. So yeah, her character is entirely balked. But if hard pressed to give a single character trait, I'd say selfishness. Everything she does is for her own sake. She wants to make the barrier permanent before a demon side is revealed, which is very much not for the sake of the world. She has little empathy for her friends, and specifically won't save them if it means revealing a demon side. She does not care for the dead civilians, and will run away when things go horribly wrong. Oh yeah, and lastly, she is a moron. In the first scene, she and her posse didn't notice obvious demons being moronic and creepy right in front of them until they had a phone call. Incidentally, the dumb, wide-smiling demons never come up again. Hang on, how did they even take off in the first place? She also goes by herself to meet Gino when that could have been an easy trap, even though she simply wanted to kill him. And lastly, she never questioned whether demons have a choice or not, despite being a part demon herself. So in conclusion, the world building is barely present, the 4 characters are deeply flawed, the theme is horrendously balked, and the comedy is insufferably grating. The moment you start thinking, K-pop Demon Hunters becomes a truly painful experience. Channel update to close out. So after 6 months of Aniview, I decided to revert back to my original channel name. Initially it seemed better, but after a while, wow did it look stale and corporate. Plus I really wasn't helping by putting this gibberish ahead of all the other words in my titles. So yeah, I was kinda doing every hallmark of bad YouTube titling, which is no doubt one of the main reasons why my channel kinda tanked this year. So yep, gonna go back to DL Farmer, though I will keep the more professional style and absolutely keep up with the better frequency of videos. So yeah, catch you next time.